What's up everybody, it's Cjplays here, and I'm back with another Sims 3 speed build, and it has been months, y'all, since my last Sims 3 speed build. I think it's been about 5 months, maybe 6, but I think it's 5 months since my last one. Legit, my last speed build was me building Gracie's house for the Not So Berry, and like, honestly, today I was gonna be like, oh yeah, I can record a Not So Berry part and post it on YouTube, and then I realized that I didn't have a house, nor that I moved the Sims, so I was like, yeah, let me start off with the house first, and then we can kind of just work from there. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. So this house, I think I'm gonna call it the Desert Plum, because, you know, it's the plum generation house, and also we're in the desert. I have been wanting to make a deserty, like, modern home for a while. I think I'm slightly inspired by that shell challenge I was doing on my channel. It's technically not over with by the time you watch this video. It'll be due tomorrow by the time you're watching this video on the 27th. So, like, technically, if you still want to do it now, you can. I can leave a link to the video. It's open for The Sims 3 and The Sims 4, so you can just choose what game you want to do it in. The only big rule is to not use custom content. But yeah, if you want to see it, I'll show you. Basically, for my shell, it was like a desert modern kind of home, and I kind of wanted to build one from scratch today, so I was like, why not just build it for my Not So Berry? To be honest though, this is like my second attempt at building a house for the Not So Berry challenge. I had built a house a couple of days ago and I recorded it and it was ready to go on YouTube, but I was just not satisfied with it. Like, I did a voiceover, I edited it. I don't know about y'all, but it's like, have you ever built something in The Sims and it's like the longer you look at it, you find a lot of things that's wrong with it, and then like you just can't change it. And you know, like in The Sims 3, some things you just kind of have to start from scratch, you know? So I decided to kind of just start over from scratch. So the original house was kind of like a more mid-century modern home. This one is just kind of like a modern home, you know? But I gotta say, I like this one a lot more because it took me a while to build it, but I think it turned out so good. It's a little, I think, asymmetric, but you really won't notice it that much unless you look at it. Also, you probably won't notice when I put the wallpaper and stuff, so like everything kind of blends in together, you know? I will also say that it took me a while, y'all, to figure out what color to make stuff. I kind of feel like doing the Not So Berry challenge, I feel like I really underestimated myself because okay, so technically speaking, you don't have to make every object the same color in the Not So Berry challenge. You can have some contrast. Like, literally, technically speaking, nothing really has to be that color, right? I feel like people mainly just do it to kind of like go along with the challenge. If you're playing in the mint gen, then you have like a mint house and your sim has mint hair and stuff. Like, I don't know if it's like a set in stone kind of rule, but I feel like most of us just kind of do it because it's kind of fun to do. But for me, I take things kind of literally sometimes. So for me, I'm like, everything needs to be plum, or at least most of it needs to be plum, or whatever color we're on. I'm gonna be honest, y'all, I never really use plum. I feel like this year in particular, I have been using more than ever because I'm also doing the Jam Legacy Challenge over on Twitch, which, by the way, if you want to check out any of my Twitch streams, I'll leave a link to my YouTube channel. I have a Twitch channel, but I also have a second channel on YouTube where I just post my Twitch streams and stuff. So the Jam Legacy is kind of similar to the Not So Berry, but like one of the biggest differences is one is Jam, the other one is Colors, but it's kind of similar. Like, some of the generations, some of the things are kind of similar in a way. It's a lot harder, I will say. Like, for example, Generation 1 was the strawberry generation, and you had to have 20 friendships, and you had to maintain all 20 friendships until the next generation. But a couple of months ago, I was doing the plum generation of the Jam Legacy. I did a speed build for it. I can leave a link down below, but I did like it was like a Y2K, like, bachelor pad type of home. It kind of reminds me of like Don Lothario and also The Sims 2, if that makes sense. So like, I feel like this year I have been doing a lot of plum stuff, if that makes sense. Like, I almost wanted to like reuse that house that I had used for the Jam Legacy, but I was like, no, CJ, don't be lazy, just like do something from scratch. So that's kind of where we are now, you know? So I kind of talked over the whole exterior, but you kind of just seen everything, right? So now we're kind of on the outside, so you'll see like this original plum color. I liked it at first, but I thought it was like a little bit too much. I think I like go back and like make it a little bit darker. On this monitor, it looks more red, but it's supposed to be plum. But I think I went back and like made it a little bit darker, so maybe it looks a little bit better to you. This is just me now going back and filling all the extra parts to make them white, but I do go back and make them like a plum color, so everything looks good. Like, yeah, here we go. You'll see it now. Everything looks pretty good. I also really like the landscaping for this house. I feel like desert homes, at least in my opinion, I feel like you don't really have to go all out with landscaping if you don't want to. I feel like sometimes less is more with houses like this. Like, you'll have like little touches of green here and there, but like the rest of it can just be like sand or dirt or rocks and stuff. So for this house, I didn't really go like super heavy with the landscaping. Now, I will say, if you do download this house, the cacti in the front yard, those are custom content. Usually, I don't really use a lot of custom content, but since I am building this in the world of Strangetown, I wanted to kind of use like some of the plants and stuff that you find, and that world does come with custom content. It's like a separate file. It doesn't come with the world itself, but it's a separate file. So yeah, like I said, I'll leave the world link down below so you can like get it if you want to, but you don't technically have to have it for the lot to work. You know, you'll just have to delete whatever the cacti turn into. I think they're like columns or something. You'll just have to delete them. We are now on the inside of the house. So we're going to start off in the living room. So at first I had put the couches at an angle and I did not like it. I was trying to like match it up with the TV, but I kind of was getting dizzy, especially like when I had to put the rug down. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. It was just kind of hard to like look at, if that makes sense. I think struggle the most with this room, which is kind of weird though, because usually I can do a living room with no problems, but there was like a lot of stuff I did off camera, y'all. Like usually when I do like these kind of videos for YouTube, you know how The Sims 3 is. If you have a lot of stuff in your game like I do, you kind of know how it is, especially when you want to like recolor something or like put a pattern on something. You have to wait for the whole entire thing to load. So like I'm used to like stopping the recording, waiting for the game to catch up, but this time in particular, I really had to like put the game on pause. So usually when I do builds like this, if it has to be like one color, I'll tend to do different shades of that color. So you'll see like the couch is more of a lighter plum color, and then the walls are a little bit darker, and then you have like little accents. So I was like really just trying to like use the same color but in different shades and stuff, and I think I did a pretty good job. But the front room, I add a lot of stuff later on in the video, primarily a lot of big posters and stuff. So for this generation, you basically like have a career change when you get a little bit older. So you start out in the medical career, and then once you become an adult, you switch over to the music career. I think it says you're an indecisive oddball or something like that in the description. I like the idea of that. So like if you didn't know, if you haven't been watching Not So Berry, Prince literally has the guitar skill. And I think you have to max it out anyway, but he has the guitar skill. So he's like really into music anyway. So I like the idea of him maybe being a doctor by day and then like a little like musician by night, so to speak. So I tried to put up like a lot of music posters and like some props and stuff like that. I can imagine him maybe trying to like get a gig somewhere, you know what I mean? Like I just like the idea of stuff like that. So what you're seeing me do right now, you might have saw me put some of those lights underneath the cabinets. I sometimes do this. So if you have the late night expansion pack, you'll have these wall lights, and they can like slot up and down on the wall. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll put them underneath a kitchen cabinet just to kind of illuminate the space a little bit more. Now I'm just kind of going in, adding some accent walls, trying to figure out what kind of bar stools I want. I think I used the bar stools from the late night pack along with the countertops and stuff like that as well. And then I was trying to like figure out what else I could put in the space. I knew that I wanted a table, so I'm using the one from the Showtime pack. And then I was like, what kind of chairs can I pair it up with? And then something was like, oh, CJ, use the ones from the Into the Future pack. And I was like, I guess. And it kind of looks nice. I did have to go back and recolor everything. I also used that bar from Fastlane stuff. I don't know why, but I really love that bar. I think it because it has like the road signs and stuff on it. So I was like, yeah, let's just use that in here. I'm using some of these plants in the corner, but I do go back and change those for some bamboo plants later on. I have been like going back watching some of the previous parts of the Not So Berry challenge, primarily Rudy's generation. He was generation 2 for people who don't know. And he had this reclining chair in his house. I think Yasmin, his mom, also had the same chair, but I also put one of those little reclining chairs in this house too with some bamboo. I was getting really inspired by Rudy's house when I was building this one, because Rudy was our last male heir, so I was kind of like inspired by his house and stuff like that. So I have like some callbacks like the bamboo, the recliner chair. I think in Rudy's house I used the late night kitchen set as well, so I was kind of like inspired by his house when I built this one. And that house was also a modern house as well, and it is up on YouTube if you want to download it. If you go to the speed build playlist, all of the recent speed builds have just been for me like doing the Not So Berry houses. I think I am going to make a separate playlist though for Not So Berry builds in case you just want to get them off if you do the challenge or whatever. So yeah, but as of now, as you can see, I'm kind of talking over it again, but this is the home office, which I think if we ever have more kids in the future, because I plan to kind of have like at least 1 or 2 kids, but I feel like if we ever have kids in the future or like more kids than just 2, then I will probably make that home office into a bedroom. You can also turn the garage, so you'll see that we have this garage. You can also turn that into a bedroom if you want to. Technically, it may not be the most comfortable place, but it could be a bedroom. And the reason why we even have a garage here is because, one, I never really put them in my sim builds, and two, I really want for Prince to have a band. I've done it before. They come with late night. You can kind of like group up with other Sims and like perform at places and stuff in the world. And I really want to attempt that this time with this save file. It's not part of the challenge, but since he's gonna be in the music career, we might as well be in a band. So I gave him like his own little like garage band setup. So we have like some like stage props and stuff like that too. You know, since he's a doctor, I feel like he can kind of afford to get custom props made for him, and he probably went to like the internet and got some. So he has like nice flashy signs, and he has like some city landscaping stuff in the back. But yeah, I feel like he hasn't quite reached the mainstream, you know what I mean? Like, he hasn't really found his audience just yet. But you know, until then, he'll have his little garage to kind of hang out in. And I really want to see if we can make some friends and try to group up with those friends as well, and just kind of like practice in here. Like, I think it'd be kind of fun to do. So we shall see what we get up to. In the garage though, I just made sure to add some instruments. So there's a guitar down here, there is a drum set, and then there's also a keyboard. So the keyboard and drum set do come with the late night pack, and I believe that the guitar that I'm using comes with, I want to say the high-end loft stuff, but I can't really remember, but I think it's high-end loft stuff. I also put like a bunch of clutter in here, so I put some traffic cones, some buckets, just a lot of stuff from the Fastlane stuff pack as well. I put like a little gas pump. We have this little arcade cabinet. I thought about putting beanbag chairs, but this room isn't that big, and we do have that really big garage door in the way, so I didn't want to put too much stuff in here and not have Sims be able to maneuver the space. I think I turned on move objects only for that little cityscape in the back, and I think also for the star sign, but I think everything else should be without move objects turned on, I want to say. But I will say I love the way the garage turned out. I think it's kind of nice. So now we go upstairs. So upstairs we only have 2 bedrooms. So we have a nursery, and then we have Prince's bedroom. So the next generation of the Not So Berry is going to be the orange generation. I have done this generation before a long time ago. So for that generation, your son basically has to be a criminal, and they have to have twins. And I was like, well, how can I have a baby's room be orange and have it be like criminals? So I was like, maybe if I put a couple of those wanted posters from the movie stuff pack, it can kind of like play into like how the baby will be when they get a little bit older. I also kind of make this room like cowboy themed in a way. So we have like a cowboy themed rug. The bedding in the cribs are also kind of like cowboy themed and western themed. I like the way this room turned out. I really think all the orange tones look really good in here. I also put a rocking chair, a toy box, a changing table, a couple of potties. I kind of just put 2 cribs in here. I don't really plan on having our first kids be twins, but I just sometimes put an extra crib in my sim builds just in case we ever have another baby back to back or something like that. Or I guess on the off chance that we do have twins. So I just kind of put an extra crib in there if we ever need it. But the room is big enough, so like, you know, if we only have 1 kid, for example, they'll have everything they need in that one room. So next up, we kind of move on to the bathroom. So there is more of a general bathroom upstairs, and there's also an ensuite for Prince's room. Prince's room, y'all, is huge. So now I'm just kind of furnishing the bathrooms. I feel like all the bathrooms are very, very, very similar. The upstairs bathroom and downstairs bathroom, they have literally the same objects. And then for Prince's bathroom, he just has a shower and not a shower tub combo. But I mean, everything else is pretty much the same, really. Oh, I did use a bigger mirror in the upstairs bathroom, but other than that, it's pretty much the same. Like, literally, I'm using the same, like, Master Suite stuff, mirrors and stuff. I also did go back and add some blinds. So it's these blinds. I think I deleted them right now, but I did go back and I added a bunch of those blinds, and I recolored them because I felt like the white was just a little bit too bright for the area. Also, for the hallway, I kind of felt like it was kind of empty, so I just added a dresser and some painting on the wall. I really was trying not to add a lot of paintings this time because Gracie, which is Prince's mom, was a painter, and she's painted a lot of stuff. So I'm hoping that when I move him to this house, he'll still have those paintings with him. I've been having some issues low-key trying to port all of the Sims over with the porter mod. I think it must be a corrupt Sim. I don't think it's any of the Sims in our household. I think it's like one of the extended family members or something. So I'm hoping that I can get all of those family members to come with us so I can like have the whole family tree intact, but you know, if I can, I'll just do what I can, you know? So last but not least, we have Prince's room, and like I said, y'all, his room is ginormous. So what I did was I gave him an extra window behind his bed, and I kind of like moved them off to the side. For some reason, this to me just helped the room feel a little bit more filled in. I also gave him a couple of chairs, this really big rug to kind of fill in some space. I gave him the dresser from the late night pack, and I gave him a couple of these really cool modern looking bookshelves. I think they're from the High and Loft stuff, I want to say, or maybe Diesel stuff, I can't remember. I gave him a standing mirror, and then now I'm just kind of going through and just adding some music posters and just regular posters and stuff like that in the house. But in all, I really like this attempt at the Plum house. This is the one I'm going to be using to play in, y'all. I think this one turned out a lot better. It looks better to me. I kind of thought about giving him a little private balcony to go on, but I feel like even if I did that, he really wouldn't go on the balcony. But technically speaking, if you download this house, you can use like the window space right there to have like a little balcony if you want to. But I just feel like Prince probably won't be out there that much. He's going to be, you know, at work and or on tour, you know. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below. Please be sure to stick around for the screenshots. I am going to leave everything linked down below if you want to download it, the house and also the world itself. You don't really need the world to get the house to work. If you just don't have the CC, the cacti in the front yard will be replaced with something from base game, and all you have to do is delete it, and that'll be it. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Thanks for watching!